By 1991, this was before Big got signed. Okay. Big was still selling crack.
Yes.
And at one point, he goes to North Carolina.
Yes.
And he gets caught. Were you involved in any of his operations when he was up in North Carolina, or when he was doing, when he was selling on the block in Brooklyn?
I was involved because we were the suppliers to everybody.
Okay, so he was basically, you were his plug.
Exactly.
Okay, so he goes up to North Carolina, he gets caught selling crack, ends up doing 9 months. He gets out. And at that point, he starts to take rap a little more seriously.
He always took rap seriously.
Okay. But, after spending 9 months in jail, you have a slightly different perspective.
No, he still didn't take rap seriously. He took rap seriously, not from a business perspective. He was just like me. He didn't know where the money was. He knew that he seen what he saw. Right? He didn't... He had no, we seen Big Daddy Kane and them drive through Brooklyn looking like drug dealers. And we seen all of these rappers from that era.
Yeah.
They all so Big saying, yes, that's what I want, but there's nobody coming.
Right. Well, then in 1992, after he gets out from doing the 9 months, he puts together a demo. Mr. C gets a hold of that demo.
Yeah.
He gives it to Matty C at the Source, who's doing the Unsigned Hype column, which at the time was almost like a Kingmaker type column. Whoever ended up in this Unsigned Hype was guaranteed a record deal.
Right.
If you fast forward, DMX got a start from Unsigned Hype,
big.
Eminem,
It was big.
Common, Mobb Deep, laundry list of people who are still, significant to this day.
Yeah.
So he gets an Unsigned Hype. Puffy sees the article, gets a hold of the tape, and then signs Biggie to Uptown Records. And the first thing he shows up on is Mary J. Blige's Real Love remix.
Which Daddy-O produced.
Which Daddy-O from Stetsasonic produced.
And that was in the next to the Stash House in the basement. That I said, those guys look like drug dealers. And my brother said, that's Daddy-O in them.
Right. So Biggie is signed. He shows up on this remix, but he really doesn't have any money at this point.
No.
Is that when you step in and start to actually finance his dreams?
I was, like I said, my brother and them was financing his dreams before I even got involved.
Okay. Got it.
He was taken care of. Like Big didn't have to do nothing that he did, right? His mother was a hardworking woman, right? She provided for him. Been providing for him. He was going to private school. It was just that thing in a young person growing up in Brooklyn. We all had it. It was that pull to the streets, right? He used to be a booster. We had some of the most famous, toughest boosting females in my neighborhood. One thing you'll see that on the series. These women was terrorists. Female terrorists, and everybody from every hood used to come down there and try to get with them because they were boosters. They would dress their men, the flyers, the everything, and they made them relevant to other neighborhoods, right? And Big used to go boosting with them. He was a booster. People don't even talk about that. He used to, because his mother didn't give him money where he could buy labels, right? She was a church woman. She simple, whatever money she was making. But she kept him clothes, fed. But he wanted to be in the streets. He had ambition. He wanted the girls. All of those lyrics that he write about taking the Izar logo and putting it on a bootleg, bow, look at your face, being bullied that's what they used to do. If you couldn't afford it, I literally know people who used to go and cut this alligator off and put it on another shirt that was much cheaper.
Right.
Right? It's been like that since the beginning of time.
Yep. Okay. So your brothers were already taking care
Yes.
of Biggie. And you started to step in at one point and take care of him as well.
I inherited everything that my brother was doing. I inherited Biggie because he used to tell me, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. My brother tried. Every day he was like, let's get behind Big. And I'm like, where the money at?
Yeah.
I'll provide, I'll look out, but you guys want to be in the music, you want studio time and you want backing. And I'm saying, I don't know about that.
Right. I mean, Matty C, who was around Biggie at the time, he says he remembers that time where you would come over, you just buy everyone breakfast, including him.
Mm-hmm.
You gave Biggie money for weed. You would drive him around. You'd buy everyone clothes and everything else like that. So you guys became close.
Right.